shot cause I'm bulletproof.
Listen, wait me, baby.
Baby, what you wanna do? I'm ready to pull up on you. I'm ready to do what I do. This type shit have you wildin'. That's when the streets to the highest. Drip, drip, drip when you sliding. Flip, 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 baby, ride it. Don't hesitate when you cause you slide.
Alrighty. Hey, it's your girl Candy, and I am here with season 2, episode 1, NBC's Found Missing Wild Bait. But I'm not alone, as you see. I have my girl, Miss Kira Speaks. Hey, Miss Kira.
Hey.
And I don't see Aries, but Aries dial in for movies. She's somewhere around these parts. And then we have someone that is new to my channel. He's not new to YouTube, but he's new to my channel. And we have the Lawrence report. Hey, Lawrence, how are you?
What's up? I'm good. How you doing?
All right. I'm going to ask you first. What are your thoughts on season 2, episode 1 of Found? And if you want to give a little backstory on season 1, you can as well.
Yeah, so I'll give a quick backstory of what Found is. Basically, it's a show on NBC. Comes on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. And the show is based around missing people, right? We all turn on the news from time to time and we see these cases of missing people, right? But there is a woman by the name of Gabby Mosley and her team. They navigate the system and trying to rescue all types of people that we saw from last season. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, gay, straight. If you're missing, they're going to try to find you, right? But in season 2, what happens on episode 1, what happens when, one of their own ends up getting missing?
Yes. What happens? Miss Kira, what are your thoughts on episode 2?
Oh,
Episode
episode 1, season 2. I enjoyed it. I said they're about to pick us on a roller coaster ride. Sir is on his stuff as per usual, and it's just gonna be a battle of the wits till we get Miss Lacey home and get to some real cases.
Yeah. Let me see. Aries. I think Aries has done something. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, sir. I call Sir Cujo. Okay, he's Cujo in human form because this man is. He's a piece of work. That's all I can say. I don't know what to say about him other than he's the dog Cujo because he scares the shit out of me. I am very scared. I'm afraid of this man. Even when he was chained up downstairs, I was still afraid of him because at any given moment, I know he could have escaped from the wooden prison cage that Jax had him in. I knew he could get out, but he just wanted to be. I'm calling her Jax. Dang it! It's all these beautiful
Gabby,
black women on the TV. Gabby. So yeah, he just wants to be with Gabby. So the episode opens up. I think Aries is something happened. Okay. So yeah, the episode opens up with Gabby in a panic calling. She's calling Margaret and she's calling Dawn, and she's trying to figure out what's going on because something is going on with Lacey. Sir has escaped. He took the poison from under her cabinet and poisoned Lacey's dog. He poisoned Lacey, took Lacey, and she is pretty sure that everything Margaret and Dawn and anybody else is eating or drinking, consuming, could be laced with this rat poison. Margaret is ignoring the phone calls. She had missed 8 phone calls sent at the damn bus station, y'all. Sit at the bus
away
station.
from home.
Listen, and then she had a lunchbox. I said, Lord, that's that baby lunchbox. I thought that was a molded sandwich in there, but I had to look at it again, and it was not molded. It just had lettuce. I said, Lord, is that baby sandwich in there, Jesus? But it wasn't. So Dawn gets through to Margaret, lets her know, don't eat anything. Food could be poison, drinks could be poison. Lawrence, what are your thoughts on how the episode opened up?
I mean, that first 5 minutes was absolutely chaotic. Like you said earlier, basically he was poisoning almost everybody that was connected to Gabby, and unfortunately, like Miss Kira said earlier, I know she mentioned Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke ended up having some Chinese food, and we know Sir basically poisoned Zeke.
Yeah, I forgot about Zeke, Lord Jesus. Kira, what are your thoughts on the opening scene? And then Dawn finding, like, kicking in the door, waving the 4-4 to get Zeke.
I mean, thank God for Don, because Zeke could have been out of here. And Margaret almost tore into that sandwich because she was getting kind of hungry sitting at that bus stop on her post, waiting for this baby to show up, all these years later. And she was about to get into it. So I was happy that nobody else was hurt or missing, because we all know what's going on with Lacey. So
Mm-hmm. What's up, Vacay J? Thank you for tapping in.
You did.
Aries, what are your thoughts on the opening scene? Aries,
She frozen.
she frozen?
It's that.
Okay, she probably is frozen.
She says, "Sir, got hold of all of them in the comments."
I'm gonna just move the slides because I don't know what's going on with my internet.
Okay,
Okay.
it got you working too hard.
Turn your camera off, maybe for a little while. See what happens.
Oh, good idea, Miss Kira. Good idea, Miss Kira. Let me know y'all can hear me now.
We can hear you.
There you go.
Okay, so maybe that's the magic trick. My computer working too hard, but I was just.
I spoke too soon. Hello,
Aries, are you talking?
I thought that was me. I spoke too soon.
Ready? I was episode. Everybody, he got a hold of old Zeke. I was like, oh my gosh, it was gonna be too easy because we know that he orders all of his food. He orders everything. So whatever could have been done would have been done by Sir. But I think he might have got a hold of something in the lunchbox for Margaret too. She just narrowly escaped it.
Mm-hmm.
He was grounding up that rat poisoning because that's all he really had. It ain't even like he had no real chemicals. He was coming up with different.
She keep glitching out. So we see Sir Cujo cleaning up, y'all. Sir,
rat poisoning, basically grounding it up.
Hey, Reed, you glitching, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sir is cleaning up, y'all. He has, shaved and dyed his hair, and he's looking like a decent human being. However, we know that he's not a decent human being. Okay, yeah. So I guess there's like really no thoughts on Sir because he's just being Sir.
I think Sir was trying to transform back into the old Sir, the Sir that was basically, he looked like the Sir that was the teacher from high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the transformation he was trying to go with.
Gabby said he liked to be well groomed, so he was getting his grooming on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we get to the I think the next scene will be the hospital where Zeke is, and they're trying to figure out like what's going on with Zeke, and Gabby does not want to leave Zeke, and I appreciate that. I appreciate her for being, steadfast and want to be there for him. However, we need to find Lacey. We need to see what's going on with Lacey because, I mean, Zeke in the hospital, he's safe. Hopefully, somebody in the hospital. I think we're good to go on that part. But I do understand why she wants to be there. But then Zeke's father walks in, and he was called by Margaret. I think Margaret called.
I thought it was Dawn. I thought he
was Dawn. Okay,
it may have been Dawn. Like I said, yeah. I barely watched the episode, y'all. Because I had stuff going. Listen, I'm just recovering from the hurricane.
We get it.
So, But yeah, Miss Kira, you want to discuss the part where Zeke's father comes to the hospital and gets
Well,
things in
it was good to see Zeke's father because I know they had like a little bit of contention in season 1, and we kind of talked about it a little bit later in this episode. So it was good to see him show up for his son. I honestly feel like Gabby at that moment thought that Lacey was gone, and that's why she didn't even want to go bother to look in when she saw like the appearance of her place, which I thought was kind of crazy because Gabby's the one that kind of started all of this inadvertently. But yeah, and then that's when I think we get to the part where Trent shows up and we start to see everything is falling apart as a result of Gabby kind of telling everybody but him what she had done and why we are here now.
Yeah. We do see where they are at the police station, and the police officer, she's like, what's really going on? She wants him to get, control of this thing, because once they go to Lacey's apartment and see all this blood spread on his wall, it's like, what in the ham and cheese going on? It's like, she was really fighting for her life in here. She did not back up from this man. She was really giving him a run for his money. And I was glad to see that the place was tore up, because that means he didn't take her easy. It's always good to see a good scene that looks kind of bad, but we know the person was not, they fought. And I'm glad to see, the blood splatter on the walls, the handprint where she smeared the blood on the wall. It was just, unless Sir set it up to make it look like she fought, I like this. I'm glad that she fought. Lawrence, what are your thoughts about Lacey's, the scene of her apartment and Margaret and Dawn and everybody walking through?
Yeah, absolutely. We know that Lacey did not go down without a fight. I mean, she's a pretty strong woman. She's been through a lot in her lifetime. So even though Sir weighs a little bit more than she do, she's headstrong, and she's not going to be easily being able to be taken down like that. So like you said, I'm proud that she still tried to stand her ground, but we do know Sir ultimately didn't end up capturing her.
Yes.
Yeah, she put up a good fight.
Yeah, Kira, what are your thoughts?
I'm glad she's still in the fight. That she put up that fight. We kind of saw a little bit of that in season 1 too, because she had all those locks on her door, and then she had kind of said it was like giving us a little J-Lo enough. Like I'm going to be ready instead of being scared. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be prepared so that when he shows up, he's not going to get the jump on me. But Sir's a little slippery, a little tricky one. So, but I was happy to see she fought her way.
And we know something happens later. I don't want to spoil it, but we'll continue to talk about that fight later.
Okay. And Aries, are you able to respond, or you just got to?
I don't know. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, you sound
try it
good.
again.
Okay, yeah. I was happy also. I was like, I know that Lacey, like y'all were saying, is just smarter than the average bear. So we know she wasn't going down without really putting up a good fight in there. And I just hope that she continue to play it smart, Let Sir get his guard down before you just hit him with the next gusto.
Right. So then we go where we see Margaret is upset. She keeps looking at the found wall where they have all the pictures of people that they found over the years or over the a period of time. And she's like, all this was like done for nothing. This was like, she doesn't believe that it's legit, like it's fake. It's not right. She's just not happy with the work that they've done. She was like, the work that we've done is just, this is not it. She just, and I understand Margaret, because she, her son was kidnapped, and everybody else that they work with have been taken. And I understand her frustration with Gabby, because how were you kidnapped? And then you kidnap your guy that kidnapped you, and you held them for 9 months. So you've been lying to us all of this time. So, she, Margaret sits down and made Gabby sit down. And Gabby, I've never seen her become like so humble, so meek. Yeah, because Margaret's gonna make her answer her questions. And Margaret was like, I need some answers. So, she's giving her the basic stuff like, he's a master manipulator and, you know, he's been that way since she met him and he enjoys a cat and mouse game and, how smart he is and educated. And Margaret said, hell no, I don't want to hear that. I need to know what
That's not
time it is. I need answers.
Hey, I'm gonna say is we've never seen Margaret, for us that watched this show from season 1, we never seen Margaret turn up the way she did on this episode right here.
Yeah.
Like, this was a different type Margaret. Like, she was highly upset. I think a lot of it has to do with the situation with her son, and now you've been hiding Sir this entire time. I feel like she feels like she's been lied to and that she's been played this entire time.
And Margaret is also the only one that doesn't have any closure. Like everybody else has literally gotten away from their captor. Her son, she has never seen him. And since he was picked up and she has a total disconnect. Now she was trying to get a relationship back with the daughter, but she don't have a relationship with the daughter. Her whole life basically fell apart and she still has no answers, no body, no nothing. So I think she's like the one that feels like, she's the most affected or has the most lose, so to speak. So she's not feeling Gabby. She's like, she's done. She's done for.
So, they're having a conversation. She's letting him know that about the shaving cream that he uses. And she was like, his shaving cream? I said, Margaret's like, why do you know that? Margaret was pissed. And she was like, I shaved him when, I held him captive. That's what I did. I know what he wants. So it's like she's letting everybody know, I know this man like the back of my hand. Let me have my way with this situation, but I get why everybody's upset. However, EJ was saying, we got to give Gabby some grace because, she was triggered and she snapped. And so she gets Margaret anger. But we don't know what she would do if she came face to face with her son's captor. I agree because, as long as that woman been waiting at that bus stop, sucking on a lollipop, waiting on that child, listen, who knows? But, she was saying it because of her expertise, she is needed.
Right.
And then we get Trent walk in and he was like, I know I'm interrupting, but what's really going on? Tell me what's going on. But he lets Margaret know that her sandwich did have rat poison on it. Thought EJ, if you can, Aries, if you're able.
Yes. When Trent confirmed that it was something on Margaret food too, I was like, I knew it. How was this man so slick? How was Sir in 5 places at once? How, Sway? But yeah. He figured him a good way out. I was glad Margaret didn't get tainted or hospitalized because we see the stuff is definitely very toxic. So I don't know. I'm just glad nobody else got took out because Zeke barely in there hanging on a thread. So we don't know if Margaret, with all that she didn't already been through in life, could even went through this. I don't know. I don't know if she would have had it to do. But I do feel like she's one of the last ones, like y'all was saying. She hasn't gotten any resolve from this whole situation. So she had every right to be on Gabby's head the way that she was. I was proud that she did stand up because Margaret kind of get walked over in the first season, or just kind of just used as a resource, like Margaret, get in here and do your thing. But outside of that, Gabby just wanted, the case to be closed. That's all she cared about, or else we would have been got Sir off. Well, he would have been going on about his business. But we needed that man to solve all the cases.
And I think sometimes we forget that this man, Sir, is completely cold and calculated. And sometimes it feels like he may be 2 steps already ahead in the game. We saw that with the rat poison. He already knew from, I think, the tail end of the last episode. he started hearing Lacey's voice, and he was like, "Oh, that's Gabby. That's little Gabriella, right?" See what I'm saying? That guy's cold and calculated. He moves different.
Yeah, I agree. So Kira, what are your thoughts on when they come back, they get into the office and, Margaret is letting uh, Dawn know that I know you had to help her with it because I'm just going back through my mind thinking about Gabby's confession. Did you help her with this situation? And it's like F Trent feelings. We need to find Lacey. What are your thoughts, Miss Kira?
Yeah. Margaret was about to in there square up with Don. She was like, I know you knew. He's like, wait. Like, I just found, and he did, but I mean, he knew, but he didn't know. No, he thought she just had taken a man out. She's like, and you're okay with that? He's like, yeah, I actually am. And not that he was facilitating in an abduction himself, but yeah, Margaret wasn't with it. Margaret about ready to throw in the towel altogether because she's sick of Gabby. Now she's sick of Don, and I hate to see it, but I was glad she wasn't being passive and she was standing on business. But at the same time, we got work to do. So
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Margaret. Margaret was giving Dawn the business. She was like, he said it's complicated. She said, well, uncomplicated.
Can I say this right quick?
Standing on business. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Can I say this right quick about Dawn? If this team right here, if Gabby and her team are like the Avengers, right? To me, Dawn is the Hulk, right? Whenever Gabby needs an extra backup, whenever she needs that extra muscle, she calls in Dawn. Her and Dawn are extremely close. And that's why he reminds me so much of the Hulk. Not to mention, he was taking guys out left and right last season with his bare hands. So it ain't nothing to Dawn.
Yeah, I was calling Don the
Yeah,
I was
he's
calling
definitely
him Huck from Scandal.
Scandal. Yeah, he's definitely hooked for real. Aries, any thoughts on Trent and
That's
I'm not
Teflon
sorry,
Don.
Don and Margaret.
Yeah, Gabby needed to go ahead and do this. She just needs to go ahead and have her humbling because you need the crew. So just let them say what they gonna say and swallow it with, I don't know, pride, I guess, with a grain of salt, whatever you got, a spoonful of sugar, whatever you got to do to get it down, because this is the only way we're gonna unite and just come and get Lacey as a family, because nobody could do it on their own. Like, they all need each other to make that the accomplishment of the mission.
Mm-hmm. So Gabby does come clean, and then the next thing that I think I have is where we have the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence, you want to discuss? You want to talk about Gabby and her shenanigans during the press conference?
So,
go ahead.
So we know that the press conference is going on. She's basically coming clean, not only to her team, but she also had to come clean to the general public about what's been going on with Sir, right? And she's making a plea case for Lacey. And the thing about it, while she's making this plea case, she's talking in a native tongue that only Sir, for the most part, can understand, because she's quoting, I forgot the name of this book. It's a book I think that they all read back in the day. But she's hoping that he's going to catch on to what she's saying during this press conference right here with this native tongue that she's saying.
Yes, and it worked because she was baiting him. Excuse me, she was baiting him, and I think they end up getting hit. We'll talk about that later. With the body with that fake body in the trunk. Miss Kira, what are your thoughts on Lacey baiting Sir using Lacey's press conference?
I mean, she speaks his language. She's, been his captor as well as he has been her captor. And so she's kind of picked up on all his little idiosyncrasies and is able to use it to communicate with him. So I thought that was pretty cool and effective, because clearly we see later on that it works. So, I was with it. I know they didn't agree because, like we said earlier, Margaret was, teed off, but it worked. It did what it needed to do.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it picked his curiosity. He picked up what she was putting down, because it was like, that's not Lacey's. That's not Lacey's book.
So it was watching that thing on playback.
Yeah. So they are at the precinct and they're trying to figure out what kind of pain in the, well, I forgot the officer name. He was like Gavin was a pain in the ass or something. But
Yeah.
they're calling him Hugh. I didn't realize his name was Hugh until
Oh,
this
sir. Yeah.
episode.
I
Yeah.
think they said it
So
last season.
they probably did, but I didn't. All I know was Sir. And now I call his ass Cujo because that man is crazy. So, so Aries, if you can, when they were talking about the Sir's mother being stabbed and in a house fire, do you think he did? Go ahead. You think he did that to his mom?
Unequivocally, without a doubt. I said, oh, that's how he got the party started. That's how, sir, that's his origin story. He
Right.
had set the mama on a flame to hide the wounds that he had inflicted upon her so viciously, because we know that when a poking is taking place is a crime of passion, is what they always say. That's a very personable offense. So, you know, when you got someone, when someone has something to get out, and that's the way they choose to do it, you know. He wanted the mom to feel all that, and then he was calculated enough even as a kid to go ahead on and set her on the house on fire. Like, forget what we about to say, we just gonna, you know, cover up what happened to moms. So that just confirmed everything I need to know. Sir been heartless. Hugh been heartless.
That's because
So
the
they.
mama was the
Mhm.
squad.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. So they get a hit on the black Mazda. Um, what are your thoughts on the way Sir set it up? Because they looked at it on the camera on the screen and they could see. I think it was like a maybe if the heat thingy. Lawrence,
Hmm.
you can maybe explain it better than I can. It's like I tell you, I have watched the episode because of but
I'm trying to remember all the pieces of that part myself. I know that they did get a tip, like you said, and the whole team is a lot of team is there, and it's actually a crash dummy, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot the
Hmm.
words that he written on the crash dummy, but
I think it said not yet.
not yet,
Yes.
as in you
Mm-hmm.
Lacey, yeah, and our cat and mouse game ain't done, not yet. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? But yeah, that's the kind of games that he likes to play. You know, he kind of reminds me. Yeah. I'm done.
yeah. And then they get a call that they need to go to the hospital. Miss Kira, you want to talk about Zeke?
Child, for a minute I had forgot Zeke was agoraphobic because we were so worried about him being poisoned. I'm like, he didn't forget. He woke up and was losing his stuff. And then when they got there and they had to send Gabby out because she was sending him off, I said, oh Lord, poor Zeke. And I'm just glad in this situation that his father made the right decision, because they was about ready to just drug him up and sedate him and put him in. And I'm like, none of that's going to help, because every time he wakes up, he's probably going to spaz out again because he's out of his safe space. So, yeah. Poor
And
Zeke.
any thoughts, Lawrence or Aries, on Zeke?
Well, his father definitely knew the right thing to do, because, like Miss Kira said, they was getting ready to drug him up and shut him down completely. Because whenever you are an agoraphobic, whenever you're out your element, out your zone, and not to mention he was going through those panic attacks, and we also forgot to mention, him and we saw this a little bit towards the end of the season. Him and Lacey started to develop a certain type of
Mm-hmm.
relationship. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And they're very, very close. And I think that was another thing that, besides the rat poison, that was another thing that unfortunately sent him into a tizzy whenever somebody that you care about is potentially gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, EJ, thank you for coming in. Thank you. Love you too. And don't record too many videos. I'm just kidding. But with Zeke, I'm glad the team came because Don is telling the dad, like, listen, bro, your son, he got this what agoraphobia,
Mhm.
you know, he can't be sedated. Like you need to handle that. And then Margaret is so sweet. I don't know if I like Margaret last season, but I'm liking Margaret so far. Like, well, I'm not gonna say I didn't like her. I'm not gonna say I take that back. I take it back. But I do appreciate her this episode because she really stepped up and was like, "Listen, this dude needs to go home. You need to just think about your son. He cannot, you know, stay here.
Yeah,
I'm
Margaret
just
is
glad they
definitely
did.
more vocal this season so far than she was last
Yeah,
season.
yes,
I noticed
yes.
a lot about Margaret's character changing. I noticed she wearing a little bit more makeup this time around too. What's up,
Margaret out here
Mo?
trying. Margaret out here trying to get chose. It's lonely at that
I
bus stop
swear
at
she
night.
But
is.
she better. She better.
She had on that little eyeliner, some lashes. I said, okay, Margaret's giving me the smoky eye in the daytime. What's going on? Don't tell me she got some little man in her life. I ain't mad at it, Margaret. Get your life back on track. But I noticed that. I'm like, okay, this character has been spruced up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Maybe that's a result of the daughter that she's trying to have a connection with. Maybe she's trying to help, bring mama out a little bit.
Right.
They haven't told us that. I'm just speculating.
Mm.
Hey Mo 69, how y'all doing? Okay, so next we get to the point where um her mom, not Gabby, Lacey's mom comes to the hospital. I mean, comes to the office and sees Gabby, and they hug and embrace. And she has to explain to this lady that your child has been taken again.
Mm-mm-mm.
The hug that they gave each other, the embrace that they had was like, not again. Like it was so heart wrenching, so heartfelt, and it just, And then when she took it back to the mom and Lacey, when she was returned, when she came back home, she's reading her a story, but Lacey is very uncomfortable, y'all. She's balled up in a knot in the bed. She's just like staring off into space. And I'm like, is this mom not really paying attention? She's sitting there reading this child a book. And then there's this door that has a curtains on it, but it's a damn door that's wide open. Like, I don't know if I would have my child in this room with the door wide. Like, I don't know. Lawrence, what are your thoughts on that?
You know that Michael Jackson song. I feel like somebody's always watching me. I
Yes.
think that was Michael. This is what happened to little Lacey right here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like these nightmares, looking out the window, seeing somebody out there. You know when somebody's watching you, and of course, whenever you're a kid, your parents be like, "Oh, it's just your imagination." They're trying to downplay it, right? But in reality, we know that little Lacey knows that somebody was really out there
Yeah.
stalking her as a child.
Yeah, that was so heartbreaking when the child was just, you know, she was, that just bothered my spirit because I'm like, I can't see myself. Me and my child would be in the bed together, okay? We'd probably be in a different
Yeah.
house and everything. Like, we'd be moved. I don't think I could do it.
They definitely should have moved. I feel
Yeah.
bad because the primary problem is she wasn't communicating with the mom because she
Mhm.
really needed to vocalize like I'm not having nightmares, like there's somebody standing outside the window or there's somebody in the closet, like, but she wasn't speaking. So I mean, I'm with you. We would have had to move and I would have been in the bed with my child till we figured it out, till you were able to vocalize. But the mom was just, I guess she did the best that she can. I don't
Yeah.
know what her situation was. So
Mm-hmm. Aries.
Yeah, I felt bad for little Lacey. Like, and I'm sure that this is one of them things that as an adult, Lacey just looks back at herself as a kid and just wish like, dang, I wish that I would have been able to say what I needed to say to mom or whatever it could have been,
mhm.
like just innocent and powerless as a kid. It really did make me feel bad for her because 9 times out of 10, like y'all were saying, the mom just dismissed this as, girl, you just tired, like you just don't want to sleep alone, go lay down, probably gave her a melatonin or something. Meanwhile, this little girl really seeing the whole man, not a figment of her imagination, outside, and melatonin can induce night terrors. So just imagine what actually seeing Sir's crazy, but and then tripping out about it just in your sleep, not really knowing what's real, what's fake.
Or the mom is probably thinking, she's having flashbacks from when she was abducted. Meanwhile, the whole time he's still here.
Right. No, the mom wasn't on duty on that. She should have been calling that back in, like, you know what? I know that we haven't found this man, but I think that he's stalking us. Like, y'all need to get me some security, or I need a detail outside the house.
Oh Lord. So there's a point where Zeke makes it home finally, and his dad and Don is there with him. And they might be out of order, Aries. But they're there together, and he wants to get back to work. He was like, I may be I'm not blind or something. He said, yeah, something like I'm not blind. But anyway, he was letting them know that Lacey planned for this. And they was like, what do you mean? I think she had knives in a drawer or something. She
everywhere.
she had stuff everywhere. Yeah, she's like, the dog was not the only protection she had. Like, she had stuff set up just in case, because she's always waiting on, the shoe to drop. She's waiting on Sir to come, because everybody thought Sir, for the past 20 years, was loose, except for the last 9 months. He has not been. But Lacey still, kept her head on the swivel, because all she knows is to keep her head on the swivel and think forward, But Zeke lets her daddy know. I mean, his daddy know that you don't know Lacey. I know Lacey. His daddy like, Lacey might not be alive. I said, I bet Zeke want the rat tat that man head. You don't talk about my girlfriend. I know my girl.
Right. Oh my God.
So Miss Kira,
I wasn't really here for that little situationship last season. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are they not getting together? Because it gave me that they was sisterly and brotherly, and now all of a sudden y'all seeing something in each other, and I was like, we don't need this. We just didn't need it. But I agree, Lacey was she was going by the mindset of, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. She been in there practicing, like Miss Kira said, getting her enough J-Lo blueprint out, moving the furniture around, moving backwards over it, stepping feet step by step. She was over there training.
A little booby trap situation.
Waiting on her life for this day.
You ain't want that little water cooler. It was like a little water cooler romance. They was, even though he was on the screen, well, she was going over there to visit too. They was co-workers,
there,
baby. Right. It wasn't in brothers and sisters. It was co-workers. Okay, it was romance in the office.
It's a little romance, right?
And you kind of have to be grateful for that, because had they not had that, would he have? I mean, he still would have looked for her, but now he's like looking, and like he knows that she had everything set up. And because Margaret took that video, he was able to set that scenario up too and say, "Look, see, I told you, she baby girl was ready. She was getting ready for this." So I was grateful for Zeke.
But could you imagine all your adulthood life, having to prepare for a potential terror or something of this nature right here? Like, this is kind of
I'd had a nervous breakdown.
This is kind of scary. Like, imagine coming home to your apartment every day, looking in the closet, looking in the cabinets, making sure there's no other male in your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how old she might have been, maybe 25 years old, maybe 30. But doing that your entire adulthood life had to be very traumatizing for her. Making sure that you got, I don't know, some nunchucks on your nightstand. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you got a bat in the bathroom with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a wonder she didn't have a blicky everywhere she went, because I would have had one.
Little spray, little taser, depending on where she's at.
Okay.
But they in like the DC area. Who knows what their laws are?
But I would have had something everywhere, because ain't no way in the world. Yeah, I got to live in fear every day. I wake up in fear. I walk out my door in fear. I
Mm-hmm.
drive in fear. I work in fear. I'm in fear. No, this man got to go. Mm-mm.
Yep.
It's very
Which is
traumatic.
why
Yes,
we
Lawrence.
can't blame Don for saying he wouldn't be mad at Lacey for, I mean, not Lacey, Gabby for wanting to get rid of Sir, because I'm sure Lacey had the
Hmm.
same feelings too, that she got to look over her shoulder. I'm sure. Listen, she might have felt the same way. Like, let me just get this man out of here.
Hmm.
Put myself at
Um.
peace.
Yeah. So Sir is looking at the conference. The conference looking at Gabby, and he's looking at the clues, and we're listening to her give clues or say things to him per se, and let him know that I'm looking for you, I see you, and I'm baiting you, you know. But do y'all think he was in the house? Because I didn't watch the last 15 minutes of it. So was he in the house that they
Yeah.
went to? The house, so he was there
Not when
because
they
you could
not
see
when they went in there. I think
because
because they had the sirens and everything going off. I think that's what tipped him off, and he was able to get
Yeah.
Lacey out of there. That's what
but
I
listen,
think.
when he was there, he could see something flash by a window or something.
Yeah, that was
So
a
it
sign.
Mm-hmm.
seems
That
like
was
he was in a basement
mm-hmm.
versus like being, like he might have been in a basement, like a underground situation. Um, Anybody want to talk about how the house, how they went through it, and the water was on, the fire was roaring outside, like what the hell?
Yeah, that was a lot because I remember seeing that one picture with I think it was Trent and Gabby. They came was it Trent? I know it was Trent and somebody. They came in the
All
house.
of them, I think.
Okay, yeah. And Sir was looking like around the corner. But there were so many context clues left, in the house. And like somebody said earlier about the flashing light, that he saw that and that was basically his escape. And
Yeah,
then we saw Lacey, I think she left I think the letter, it was like a circle
little
and the
clue.
letter K or something like that. Some
Mm-hmm.
more context clues let them know that she was here and that she is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of mad at them for that because it's like, if you know Sir, why would you come in there with sirens and lights so that wherever house he's in, out of these houses, he can see you before you can see him? Like, that didn't make any sense to me, but
And I think Don didn't he find in that fire, didn't he find, was
her
it,
clothes.
her clothes? Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he did. He was burning. I don't know
Oh,
what,
have
what
mercy.
article of clothing it was, but yeah, he was burning some of Lacey's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay, so the last part I did see was them recreating this scene in the house
Mm-hmm.
of of the fight. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And anybody can talk about the last part because I didn't see it.
We talking about the fight between Sir and
And
Lacey.
And
yeah,
Lacey.
I think that I think Zeke did something like the whatever the evidence that was there. He
Yeah, with the
recreated it
video that
by he
Margaret
could
did.
tell like what it was. Yeah, yeah.
I think he was using, to my understanding, this is what I call it. It was like some type of AI technology that can recreate a fight sequence, and that was pretty dope in itself when they showed that in the show. Like
Mm-hmm.
my mouth dropped. I was like, okay, this is pretty big time right here. So I really love that. But that's the gist of how I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. And Mom was a G because Mom had to stand there like, you gonna be all right? Mom had to stand there and watch all of that unfold in front of her because Mom was there, Lacey's mom.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that was when she found when Gabby noticed the book on the floor. That was the clue that Lacey left her to when we saw that scene.
Mm. So what did she leave her?
There was a book that Gabby had brought over because we get like another scene of Lacey's mom didn't know what to do, so she said she couldn't fix it, so she brought Gabby in. So she brought Gabby to the house to visit Lacey when she was younger, and Gabby bought Lacey a book, and the book was found on the floor of Lacey's
Mm.
house. her and Sir had the struggle, Gabby noticed it, and that was the clue that was on the wall because it was supposed to be. She's like, it's not okay. It was dot K for dot kangaroo, whatever the book was called.
So yep, kangaroo.
Okay. Okay. So this picture, I don't know how I missed. Okay, I missed a whole scene. So I didn't get a whole scene. Okay. So he was tying her up, and they were talking about.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that too.
Yeah, they were talking about Sir was looking through a window. Sir was looking at Gabby and Lacey through a window. Yes. No?
That was the kind of two parts of the book scene, because when he tied her to the chair, she was essentially saying, like you said, the man in the mirror, somebody's watching me. He had been watching her all those years, and she was like, well, why me? And he said, Gabby had moved, but you didn't, so I knew where you were, and you were my connection to Gabrielle, because like to call by her full name for Gabrielle. And when the mom brought Gabby over there to see Lacey, and she gave her that book, Sir was peeking through the window then. So yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Poor
and I wonder what's his fixation on Gabby. What is it with Gabby?
They're supposed to be together. And his vision, his eyes, he feels like they are life partners. Like their love for literature and books and English, that is what attracted him, I think, to her, which is really odd because you're attracted to a young child and you're a teacher, so you're a predator. You know what I'm saying? But in his eyes,
but he never had. But did he ever touch her? Like, did he ever have any sexual? I mean,
they never told us that.
They never did that, right? He never kissed her. He never touched her. He just wanted to.
It's weird because it does feel like he's part dad, part lover, and I just never understood that. They never gave us clarity on that. And I always wondered if
very blurred.
Yeah, and I always wondered if that the black lady that was coming over having spaghetti with him, they said that we say that that's not Gabby's mom, but if that was it had anything to do with his fixation on her in particular, if it was the academics plus maybe she reminded him of this lady. I'm just putting one and one together, making three. Y'all don't pay me no mind. I'm just trying to figure out in Sir's little twisted head what's going on.
I get that.
Hey, Reed, what are your thoughts?
I love the way that Lawrence broke it down. Basically, I was like, yes, this all makes sense. Just his infatuation with Gabby or Gabrielle, as he would love it. Gabrielle. Yeah, his infatuation with her brain and like his ability to kind of mold her into what he wanted her to be. I think that maybe it hadn't gotten physical, but at some point when they moved to Paris and all that, like he was fantasizing about, he was going to take her on as his child bride. In my opinion, I feel like that's what it was leading to. But even that probably had to line up with some type of Shakespeare play, like everything has to be really Shakespearean and for the arts.
Some type of academia.
Yes.
And if you remember back in those Shakespeare days, they could marry girls that young. So he's literally living out or trying to live out this fantasy with literature, English, Shakespeare. And it's something about Gabby that just completely turned him on. I think it was the way that she was so smart, like as if he's never seen a person that smart, that caliber before. And for him, he was like, oh my gosh, she has to be my wife, my young Gabriella.
Are we talking about the last scene? Because I almost forgot about it.
Go ahead, please.
Where we got, so when they found the mannequin in the truck with the water bottles and the note, it had the book Native Son. So Gabby went back to the book and there was like little hieroglyphics or some type of notes or whatever, and it ended up being a phone number to a payphone, which aggravated my nerves because I said, where is there a payphone in modern day time? But okay, is in DC somewhere there's a payphone, and she went to it thinking that I guess Lacey was gonna call her. She's like, Lacey. He was like, hello, Gabrielle. I said, sir. And that's where our episode ended.
Oh,
We're gonna have a good
gosh.
time with the two of them though, with Gabby and Sir, because
Yes.
it's like a tennis match.
Yep.
So I did see the preview, and it looks like he's gonna walk up on Margaret. I don't know if that's gonna be, I don't know if they playing with us with the episodes. Like that might be episode 5. But is he gonna walk up on Margaret, or is it just looking like he's walking up on Margaret?
I don't think
I saw that. I saw that preview too. I think he found Margaret, and if that's the case, Margaret, she's pretty much gonna be defenseless. Like I could be wrong, but I don't see her being the type that's putting up a strong
Margaret
fight.
of this season might put up a little bit of fight. Season 1, Margaret ain't do nothing. Season 2, Margaret might give you a little 2-piece and a biscuit. I don't know.
Yeah.
She might walk.
Right.
Speaking of Margaret, let me ask y'all this question right quick. Do y'all think by the end of this season that we're going to see Margaret's son return back to that train station?
Jesus, he needs to. And then I guess season 3 would be, where the hell you been?
Yeah, do that.
And then if the son has his own sir or ma'am, whichever one it is that had him, that would really make my head spin. Like if he's been in the same situation as Gabby for all these years. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just imagine being taken for 20 plus years, but they have been on their heels for 20 plus years. Like the roles have been, oh God.
And then how old was the little boy? Because depending on the age of the kid, like Gabby was too old for Sir to, you know what I'm saying, to like turn her mind. But if you get a real young kid, some of those kids, like they be forgetting who their mommy and daddy is. And
like if you had killed Lacey,
well, Lacey was a little too old too, but
Lacey was a little girl. She was like 4 or 5, wasn't she?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, he might have been able to, if he kept her long enough without Gabby, he might have been able to give her a little Stockholm syndrome to where she didn't,
Yeah.
And can you imagine if Margaret's son come back and be like, "You're not my mom." Wait, what?
Right.
Goodness, Margaret.
But because Gabby was so intelligent, he couldn't turn her. She was not weak minded. Because you could even call her Gabrielle. You had to call her Gabby. Like she had her foot. Listen, when she was in high school, she had both her feet on the floor and standing straight up. Like, no, my name is Gabby, not Gabrielle. Yeah, so he couldn't do, she was not weak-minded, but she was intelligent. You can have some people be grown and still be slow.
Yep.
Hello, R. Kelly. Did I just say that out loud? Oh.
You did.
Oh, okay. I mean, he did it, so he didn't have any Gabbies in his camp. I tell you that.
I cannot.
He didn't have no Gabbies in his camp.
But
anyway,
did you say did he?
The
he had no Gabbies in his camp
before him.
The musical genius.
Oh, okay.
I believe I can fly. Y'all crazy. Mr. 12 play. He ain't had no Gabbies in his camp. So, there older people can be slow and be turned. So,
very much so. But that's not what he got. He didn't want that. He wanted that, and he wanted that big brain. That intelligence was speaking to him. I don't know why he thought he could pull that with an intelligent teenager, because they be giving the mamas and daddies the business. I don't know what you thought you was going to do, but okay.
Right. Because Gabby gave him the business every time.
Every day.
Oh.
And they're not eating because she got that slick mouth.
Yeah.
And you better get your lines right.
I keep thinking about this one shot I saw in the trailer, and y'all probably saw it too. I think it was a trailer, when Gabby is sitting on a bench, right, and on the opposite side, behind her is Sir, and I'm wondering what is that. I don't know when we're gonna see that. I don't know what that. I wonder what that conversation will be. Because Sir, in that picture on the video, it looked like he has some scratches on his neck. So I'm ready for that episode right there. And we get 22 episodes this season. Last season we only had 13.
13, I know.
So
praise the Lord.
This right here is gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, somebody put that down in my comments. I'm like, it was 13 last season. It's probably 13. She's like, no, boo boo, it's 22. I said, okay, thank you.
Okay. They know we was watching, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I am down. I am here for it. Listen. Thoughts on the episode and what you got coming up, Aries?
Hey y'all, yes, I really did love this episode. I even got more excited just now finding out that there's so many episodes in this second season. Come on, NBC, with that budget, because it definitely gives me that it could go on and on like a Law and Order. This could be a never-ending cat and mouse game for seasons and seasons and seasons. So shout out to the cast and crew over there at Founds. We are watching, people, so make sure that y'all liking and sharing all of our content when it comes to this episode or this series in particular, just so that we can spread the awareness, because I would like to think that we got something to do with it getting the second season in all of them episodes.
All right. Shout out to Aries and Lawrence. Because I didn't cover it last season. I just enjoyed Aries recaps and I watched it.
Yeah, I was watching hers too.
Lawrence Report.
Yeah, and that's how I met. Yeah, that's how I met Aries last year, because I was covering Found and I saw her. I was like, okay, so there are other people covering this right here. And I've already uploaded my review for episode 1 of Found. So make sure y'all check that out. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I talk about a lot of Black content. I always say my channel is a mixture of Black content / superhero type stuff. So I'm a big bowl of gumbo, and if that's your thing, make sure you subscribe. I'm heavily focused on our Black shows and our Black content.
And we love to hear it. Yes. And Miss Avery, Lord Jesus, Miss Kira speaks.
I am so excited for this season. I love this show. Last season, I did not recap it. I did not have time, but I definitely was checked in on the red phone over there with Miss Aries every week to see what was going on, with Gabby and the crew and Sir his crazy self. So I'm really excited to be covering it. I did my recap. I'm gonna try to do Found Fridays, but we may have to revisit that. So keep your notifications on. I wrapped up Power Book 2 Ghost. I'm playing catch up on Reasonable Doubt, and I will be trying to get Love is Blind episodes 1 through 6 to you guys tomorrow, because today didn't happen. So check the community tab and keep your notifications on.
All right. I love to hear it. So for me, I want to cover Potomac, but I'm not sure how that's going to work because I got a lot going on right now. I am doing Reasonable Doubt. I'm doing Found. I am doing Queen's Court with EJ. I'm doing Zatima with EJ and Tamika on Thursdays. And then on Sundays, I'm back to Reasonable Doubt and Found again. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do Potomac, but I'm going to try. I really am.
You better hop on a panel and leave it alone.
I'm going to try. I really am. I got to get the content out because I just got to 500 subscribers and now I'm trying to get on up. Got to get on up. So yeah, it was a long road, but slow and steady wins the race. But if nothing else, look at Aries from some Potomac.
That's like Potomac.
I do want to thank everybody for coming out. We have Ashley from My Sweet Perspective, Lemon Kush Pepper, thank you for coming through. Monique 69 Ways Johnson, thank you. EJ the TV Junkie, thank you. Shayna, thank you for coming. VKJ, thank you for tapping in. Inga Binga, thank you for coming. And I think that was it. Yes. And thank you all for joining me, Lawrence and Miss Kira, for joining me at Aries. I appreciate it. By the time we pop up next week, I should have my Infonet back because Spectrum was playing on my top today. So that's another story for another day.
Hey, tell Spectrum knock off $50 off that light bill. Off the internet
something
bill.
Off of something.
Because I've been without Infonet for 10 days, okay?
Oh no, you do a credit.
Yes.
10 whole days. That's a third of the month. Okay. Listen. And then I had to use my data to make things pop. So that means they need to get.
And what about the babies with the baby with school? Because I know they be using the internet sometimes for their school stuff too. So yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna need them to, you know, cough up something, a little couple credits or something.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for that reminder, Lawrence. Because you know, I'll tell y'all behind the scenes what happened to me today. But if nothing else, everybody have a good night.